I recently heard that the legendary and great Kevin Conroy has passed away, and that was quite sad news. I did hear that he wasn't doing well in articles a little while ago, so I did want to do a little bit of a shout out for him and just kind of an honorary thing by reviewing the movie The Mask of the Phantasm. Now, the very first time I ever encountered Batman in my whole life was the 90s the 90s show, The Batman, and Kevin Conroy voiced Batman throughout the whole show, and he also voiced Batman in the movie The Mask of the Phantasm, which is, basically the show's movie. They did a couple, I think. Um, and I let me just say that, first off, Kevin Conroy as Batman, he has always brought this depth and this feel to him that I don't think any other actor has quite been able to place. And he was able to provide a dichotomy to Batman that I don't know that any other actor has quite placed so well either. The tug of war going on between Batman and Bruce Wayne, I think he always landed very well, and he just brought this emotional depth to the character that isn't seen too often in different actors. So, props to Kevin Conroy as Batman. He has been Batman since the 90s, and throughout a lot of the animated world since then to right now, um he has been around as Batman, and he'll probably linger on as one of the best for a long time to come. Particularly for his, I think the younger people might remember him from the Arkham games. He voiced, I think all but Origins. I think he was the voice of Batman in the Arkham Asylum video games, and yeah, I think Arkham Origins was the only one where he wasn't. So he's Batman to the gamers. He's Batman to the '90s kids. He's Batman. He's Batman to a lot of people. So it is sad to see that that happened, and that we've had to say goodbye to him. But he did a fantastic job. I don't, he's left us with so much of his creative ability. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you for making my childhood awesome, and providing me with my very first hero. And so let's talk about The Mask of the Phantasm. I think this movie was just way ahead of its time, and it was incredible. It was incredible. It was so ahead of the curve in so many ways. It's one of the first movies, even, or fictional accounts of Batman that really digs into what's going on with Batman and the difficulties regarding his transformation into the Batman. Like, it shows just his difficulty with the turmoil of losing his parents, and even into adulthood. He can't commit to a woman. He can't seem to find purpose for himself, and that eventually leads to becoming Batman. And they show the process too. A lot like how Batman Begins kind of shows the difficulty that Bruce had to go through to figure out how to do it. This is a totally different version, and it came way before Batman Begins, where he kind of just dresses up and puts a ski mask on and just tries to confront criminals, and they're not scared of him, and he kind of gets in trouble for it. Nearly dies a couple times, and he's just like, well, I'm missing something. This isn't working. And so he's just desperate to find the correct alignment, because he's been training. He knows how to fight. There's a missing element to it, and then eventually he comes to the suit, and he comes to the cowl and the eyes, and he's just like, okay, he lands on the Batman persona. And there's this little clip, I think a lot of people have probably seen it, just where he's at the table, and it's the camera's behind him, or the viewpoint's behind him, and he puts on the mask, and then he turns around, and Alfred's looking at him, and that's that one where he goes, like, yeah, like, whoa, because he's just got those glaring eyes, and he's finally found the the symbol that will terrorize the criminals of Gotham, and it shows that whole process, and it's fantastic. And I think one of the cool things about this movie is it also provides, a romantic context for Bruce Wayne that actually ran pretty deep, and it didn't involve Catwoman, it didn't involve Poison Ivy or any of those other love interests that kind of interject. It's this character named Andrea Beaumont, and um, she's an interesting love interest for Bruce because she doesn't, she's not interconnected with the Batman world, at least not as much as at least not prior, as much as someone might expect, or what other variations of these stories would suggest. And so the love interest between Bruce Wayne and Andrea Beaumont is quite um, a nice spin on the whole situation, and it's kind of the rejection from Andrea that does kind of eventually lead him down further down the Batman rabbit hole, so to speak. And if from there, you know you the main narrative, at least the primary present day narrative in the context of the movie, is that there's this masked dude running around killing mob bosses, basically some big time criminals, one by one. And Batman's getting blamed for it because he's hot on the trail, but you know he keeps coming up empty. This guy's good. He keeps evading him. And the old mob bosses are also concerned. They're like, I don't want to get killed, but he seems to be killing everyone else, so they freak out. And they end up turning to the Joker for help so that the Joker can, and in this context, Joker does have ties to the mob back before he became the Joker and everything. And so that's a nice spin on that as well. Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker. And yeah, so the Joker's trying to figure out who this killer is too. He's trying to, he already isn't thinking that it's the Batman doing the killing, because he knows Batman really well, as you might expect, and just he's like, this doesn't seem like the Batman's MO. So, but I'll check it out. I'll in total Joker fashion, he investigates the situation, and eventually we come to the finale of figuring out who the Phantasm is. And so the Phantasm, the Joker, and the Batman all meet in the center of this cat and mouse game. And let me tell you, the ending of this movie is just awesome. It's like, again, this movie was ahead of its time, ahead of the curve in a lot of ways with how it depicted every single thing. Every main character had a very interesting arc, and the flashbacks only added more into everything that was going on. The plot was just so well written, so well done. And this was way back in 1993. Like, my goodness, this movie's just been lying around. I don't think people, the young people, don't know what this movie even is. Like it is good, okay? Like, surprisingly good. Like, almost not quite for little kids. Like, it's a little dark for little kids. Like, it gets edgy, man. And like the final confrontation between Batman and Joker specifically, like, they go hard at each other. They're trying to kill each other, basically. This is almost like Dark Knight Returns proportions that they go to, because they've just kind of they've been pushed to the edge, and you kind of feel it with the emotion and the context of the plot. They've both been pushed. And they both have their history, and they're kind of like, what, this might be the night. And so nothing but good things to say about this movie. The animation style just brings a lot of tone and a lot of emotion to each character and each plot point. And it does a great job at showing the process Bruce Wayne goes through, but also the process Batman goes through, and just the duality between the two of them, and the struggles between the two of them. But also just even the side characters play their role very well, and they have significance, and you just, man, just I don't know. I I don't know what else to say. This movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I would say track it down and watch it. If you're a Batman fan, it's got to be on your list, man. You got to give it some time. Now, being a 90s movie and it's all 2D, it's a little old. Like, sure, um it's not quite made in the way that they make animated movies these days, but I don't think you'll mind. If you're a Batman fan, like I said, throw it in there, man. Give it a watch if you haven't already. If you have seen it, watch it again. It's good stuff. And you know, I it's just sad that we're not gonna have Kevin Conroy around to do more Batman. It's just but we can enjoy what came, and just and be thankful that was he was courageous, and he was passionate enough about his abilities and his skills that he shared his talents with the world. And so, well, that's it.